Hey guys, back at it. We're in Dillon'S garage, Power Sports Edition. So we got 3 pit bikes, 2 PB80s, and an SSR 110. We're going to be doing a few things too, mainly carburetor work and just getting them running, going over the bike, fixing a couple little things. Alright guys, so here we go, back at it. We got working on a PB80 right here. We're about to pull the carburetor off. Check the float bowl on it because it's leaking. See what we do to adjust that. Everything here is loose already at how it came, so I'm going to start pulling this thing apart. Flat head right here. Be gentle, and we're just going to try to slowly work this boot around a little bit, loosen it up. Trying to get at the base of the bowl. It's a good starting point on these carburetors on these bikes. Get that out of there. That'll make it a little bit easier. So I'm grabbing the base of the carburetor here and trying to pry that boot away to break the seal. That's some tough rubber right there. There we go. Boom. Oh, you got her off there. Now I'm gonna grab a pair of needle noses. These long pair are my favorite ones to work with. Pick them up at Harbor Freight, super cheap. They just make everything a lot easier to deal with. Doesn't wear your wrist and fingers out. Like me, I've broken my wrist quite a few times, so. You can help me out, helps. Fuel smells good. Got this off. Oh yeah, that is gritty. That's nasty. That's definitely something that is probably just cake full of sand. So on these Yamahas, it's a 21mm socket for the spark plug. Just so you guys know, don't worry taking that off, and check that. That was loose as well. Not quite sure if they got it this way or if they tried working on it a little bit, but kind of looks like they tried working on it. As long as they didn't break anything, which they haven't, no big deal. That's a little strip, but I got plenty of these laying around. So, just want to keep that carburetor cap depressed, and so you can get this last screw out. There's our slide. Looks like it has some serious wear problem there on something. I don't see why the carburetor does not appear to be damaged here. So nice smooth bore everywhere. So it looks like it might have been running on a suspension. You know, check the position here. Wasn't running on there. Very odd. Oh yeah. So this should be shooting back, and it is not. So you can feel it. It's very, very gritty. Pretty sure it's all just in the line itself. Now, get those guys right there. We got 4 screws on the bottom of the bowl here. I'll pull these things off. Might not feel too good pulling out. I think it's just getting caught. Yeah, it's just getting caught on the lock washer. I always want to make sure you have a good handle on it, good firm grasp when you're trying to break these things loose. If you strip it once, it's very, very hard to get back off. Impact guns do help, but make sure it's on there perfectly straight. You got a good grasp on it. That's how I like holding mine. I keep them on an angle for a few. Oh, gritty. Alright. So, a little bit of stuff in the bottom here. Kind of hard for the camera to pick up on it. Drop our little gasket out. Inspect that, make sure everything's good. Just gotta be careful with that little tube, you don't tear these. Nice little gasket, has a little machined O-ring on it. Everything else seems to be alright, so start checking float level. So we got a nice good seal on the seat. That's what I was checking, blowing through here, making sure that the seat's not worn out, but it's sealing fine. You can check it upside down, other ways. Want to make sure it's not getting stuck, so that's why I check it both ways. If it's right here and you put your finger, you can operate it a little bit, see if it's working there, and then we just make sure the plunger works when we're putting it this way. So, but everything works good. So now, another flathead. Kind of jet we got in here, huh? Don't look like we have any stamping, so this is just whatever came with the carburetor, it appears. Always blow through them first, and then check them to a nice bright light source. They're nice and clear through this little micro hole there, and now those little guys are all clear too. Yeah, those are all clear. So yeah, they can see the light through. So I'll go ahead and drop that right back in before we move on. So inside of this, not too bad. It was mainly the O-ring trapped pretty much all the sand on the outside, so not too bad. Definitely clean right there. Main jet's nice and clean. You can see through it. And another factory jet. So no numbers. No numbers, no problem. I'll just do old school tuning. Go run it. If it'll run, we'll figure it out. Check the plug. If it does run, go run it. Good. Nice and hard. We'll do a wide open run. Let it get all the way up in its RPM band, and then we'll snap the throttle shut, lock up the brakes, get the thing slow down best as possible, get the motor where it's not turning over, and we'll pull the plug out, read the plug, see how it looks, and that'll let us know if we need to go a little bit fatter or a little bit leaner. So what I'm doing here is you can see the float right there. See that little cylinder? That's the float needle. So in adjusting that little tab is what allows, you can't really see the part, that's what allows you to go up and down. Oh, sorry. That allows the fuel to come in, drop down, fuel comes up, shuts it off. Right now it's just going too far and not closing. So what we're gonna do, spin this little tab down just a hair, just barely. Now we're gonna test by blowing through it. So I think that might be good. I think we moved it just enough. We'll put it back together. We're gonna clean the rest of it real quick. Actually, pull this main back off. Spray cleaner. Now we're just cleaning it off. The main jack back in now, since we got most of this off. So I just wanted to clean out behind that. So something I always like to do is Anytime I tighten my last jet right before I put it back together, I just go to the other one and give it a quick little turn and make sure everything's good. A little bit more dirt right here. So this is another thing, if you guys aren't aware of, these little pins right here can actually go out either way, and you want them to be free floating. The bowl will actually keep it aligned and it can't come out, but when you're working on it, it's very easy for these things to slip out sometimes, especially on Chinese carburetors, because the tolerances aren't as good. So yep, that's looking all pretty spiffy there. Clean our gasket. Clean our bowl. So let's get you a better picture of it. There we go. So we got a little bit of crud up in there. We're just gonna spray it out. Just get a couple of the chunks out of there. A little wipe. And what that is actually just varnish, tiny bit of oxidation for this pot metal, but mainly varnish. This being a Chinese carburetor, not an OE. Yep. Chinese Walro carburetor. Going back to it, same position. This is just my favorite position when I'm doing carburetors. I got a bad wrist, and it's easy for me to use my fingers this way. Yeah, grow up right and be fun, I say. And I say the rest. Living my broken bones your whole life sucks. But I want to change the damn thing. It's still a lot of fun. So we're just going in a cross pattern on this bowl, tighten everything real quick so that when we get into actually tightening this thing really down, back to where we started. Now we can start cranking it down. Bowl is all worked down. It's a clean carburetor now, and it's been adjusted on the float side. And when we go back into tuning the carburetor, actually, so this right here is our idle screw, so it's going to of course adjust our idle. And then this right here is our air fuel mixture screw, and this is going to bleed in a certain amount of fuel into the carburetor. So it helps with tuning quite a bit. And then our choke is right here. Choke goes in there, and you can see right there, that's the choke hold. So basically what it's doing is it just opens up, acts as another way to let fuel in, because when it's cold, the air is actually way too dense, and the mixture is way too lean. But once the engine gets up to operating temperature, it's heating that air up so fast as it comes through the carburetor and the engine that it does no longer need that fuel. So because the air density is no longer there, the quality of air has gone down, no longer need to choke. Simple. And that is your drag racing tip of the day. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our screwdriver here, our small flathead, put it up on to the coils, and just pull them right up and over to the side of the slide. And then we're going to grab our cable, and there's a slot on the side of it. You're going to put it right through that slot. Pull that spring back a little bit. Sometimes it's a pain, especially on these little ones. They're so small, it's hard to grab them. There we go. Oh. And then just like that, your carburetor hat comes off. So there's your spring, there's your slide. That's the slot I was talking about. Now, I gotta pull the cable off to show you guys. Actually, let me show you. Here we go. So this, of course, you have to have the spring or on that cable in your hat, but that's where your cable goes. Just slides right in, and the spring tension keeps it locked in place. And it just slides right out, and there's no spring. Not a bad deal there. So now, that's it. Pulling this cable. Ooh, that has a bad kink right there. It's not routed right. Looks like we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to take the tank off. Just the front bolts at least. Jobs like this, definitely prefer the drill. Just makes it easier. Now, and then trays are always nice. So, the client actually premixes all his bikes, and we're going to be pulling the premix off, or the actual mixer on the bike, and we're just going to cap some stuff up, and we're gonna pull the tank off because there's really no need for it. And just so nobody gets confused, you know, it's a premix, it's an old 2-stroke. It's much safer, much reliable. Always to premix. I'm a big fan of 40-to-1. Other people say otherwise. I strongly disagree. We've been very, very fast back in our day. When we used to race Banshees, everything was always a 41. It always lived. So we never really had piston scoring. The only time we ever had any problem was when we got our tune off, and when you run 270 pounds of compression on a Banshee with a cool head, you know, you end up with holes in pistons when it's too lean, and you start detonating going up comp. So it was a fun bike. We'll get back into this. Now, start getting into the bike now. Got some screws falling out of here. Alright, so now we got cooled seat, get to this tank. So looks like we're at 210 mil nuts right up underneath the seat here. There we go. Keep you guys involved. Let's see if this will actually reach. That did fit. I didn't think that was going to fit. There it is. Keep all our stuff up on our tray. On that side though. At least we got lucky on one side. Don't get me wrong, we could probably definitely get to it if I wanted to get up in another time to go get a whole bunch of extensions, but wobbles, but we're good. Drop it. Oh, I just broke another wheel. Damn chair. I think it's about 20 years old or more. Office chairs always make the best shop chairs. Alright, now let's take shit off. So this is your rear tank strap. Want to make sure you put that back on. The seat does hold it down, but it really does keep a lot of the movement out of the tank. Puffer 10 back on. We're going to pull this bolt right here and this bolt right here. There's two more back here on the rear fender. Holds your strap and the rear fender. Take those, put it in your tray. Fender comes off. Now we can get to this back bolt. Now, there's our oil tank delete right there. So I'm gonna go and let this drain into my oil bucket, and then we'll clean it up and give it back to the customer. So now what we're going to do is start flipping the bike around so we can work from the other side. Now here's the oil pump right down here. And it looks like we can get to it, to these two bolts. So now, let's go ahead and end up grabbing those extensions anyways. Go and pull that air box, just get it out of our way. Bolts go in the tray. Now this should reach right over easily. So just like at the top of the carburetor, at the top of your throttle here, you have the little barrel, that goes in there, and it just locks in. You have the same style on your choke for down here. It's basically just a baby throttle. So. Now what we're going to do is put a cap on this pump on both of these. So put some vacuum caps on these things, and then we don't have to worry about them. And that's pretty much the easy way of doing your oil delete on a PV8. So you don't really need to block off plates or anything. You can leave it. It's not going to mess up anything in the engine. You know, it's just don't hack that we used to do way back in the day, and it's a cheap way to help people out. And you know, it's nice to be able to mix your own oil in your two-strokes, just so you know the reliability of what fuel you're putting in and what oil in. Make sure that you're getting in the correct ratios. You just don't want to be burning up motors for no reason. So I've just never been a fan. I've seen too many of them fail and go out and take out motors. So to all the different manufacturers. So just a little safety in my eyes. So now under those vacuum plugs caps left when they don't. So I'm probably gonna have to end up making a run to McFadden's tomorrow and getting some. That does look like the case. So we're stuck on that part right there for right now. But what we can do is now go through pull these cables out. Definitely something funky going on in here. So it's not right here. So this right here is which one that goes on the slide. So we know this thing's moving fine on this half right here because we can move it easily. See that? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull top on it. Make sure this is all seated properly. And then we're just gonna give it some throttle. It doesn't feel too bad there. So where are we headed? That's where we're having our issue. So this connector right here is all jacked up. That would be it right there. So it looks like we have a broken throttle cable. So it looks like this bike's gonna be sit until we get some more parts, which hopefully I can track down and source out pretty quick. And we'll see where we're going with that one. But good thing is we have, there we go. We have another PV80 and an SR110. So this one I pretty much already got done mainly. I just got to straighten this out a little bit more and fix it. He laid it down, had it back here, so I'm just trying to straighten things out for him real quick. And then we'll fire it up, make sure everything's running good. Put some air in the tires, make sure his tubes are good because he's got some low tires. And probably pretty much send this one back to him. And then the SSR looks like it needs a few parts again. It's an SSR, so looks like he not quite sure if he ripped out the foot pegs or if they just got loose and fell out. Hopefully that's the case. If not, we'll have to time cert the motor, which kind of sucks. So we'll end up pulling the motor, and we'll actually throw it up on the mill. And it's I got a Bridgeport over at my father's, so we'll be able to put it up there and do a really nice time cert job on it, get it perfect, and then I'll come back and put it back in. So any excuse to use the mill is fun for me. Alright guys, I think we're gonna call it a night. I'm just gonna clean up a little bit and we're getting out of here. See ya.